观众朋友们，大家好，欢迎您收看通过肢体语言解读人格的系列节目。今天我们很荣幸地邀请到了来自德国的 Ulrich Salman 先生，他是著名的肢体语言专家，也是肢体心理治疗师，同时呢，还是很多企业家和国家领导人的资深顾问和肢体语言的教练。Welcome, Mr. Ulrich Salman. 你好。
And ni hao to everybody here in China. I'm very glad to be here.
我们今天要谈论的人物是普京。普京是现任的俄罗斯总统。因为历史的原因，我们中国人对普京非常的熟悉和关注。我们今天呢，就跟乌瑞奇先生一起来聊一聊他。
рыночной экономики, открытая и самостоятельная страна.
But when Putin does not feel he's respected by the other, completely closed.
So, Mr. Ulrich, talking about Putin, what's your first image?
Well, very powerful man.
Yes.
Of course, he's president.
Bodily powerful.
Of course, yes. I don't talk about politics and the content of politics, but about the non-verbal expression of power.
Yes.
When I have an image, I remember him riding on a motorbike, very big motorbike, and other motorbikes riders behind him. Or I remember the picture when he was fishing. He was standing there and no shirt, just his breast, and I could see his muscles, and he was brown by the sun, you know, and he was really fresh, powerful man. So he's not only politically powerful, he's also, he embodies the power he uses in his political job. And when I look at him when he's on political stage, and mostly we can see him on a political stage and not going for fishing, he's small.
Yes.
And often when he's presented on media, it's just like a ceremony. There's a very big golden door, and the golden door opens, and then he comes and just like pop, pop,
Yes.
pop. He
A long way.
Yeah, it's a long way, and everybody has to look there, and there's no sound, nobody says something, no music, and you see in his face that he's concerned, just does it without moving, without facial expression.
Good morning, Mr. President. Welcome to Yancy Lake. Please.
And it's interesting. When he walks, his left arm is mostly a little tensed. It does not move so much, while the right arm is moving while walking. So there is some kind of difference in his way of walking. And when he sits, for example, you have the same. When he sits, he puts his hand here and holds a little, and with the right hand, he moves and behaves, just like an ordinary person. So it is some kind of pattern of him, this
Yes.
left and right split or ambivalence at least. And then at the same time, when he, for example, has his feet like I have, they're just moving, just like nervous moving. So there must be quite a lot of tension in him, sitting there, and the feet helps him to discharge the energy, the tension.
Oh, yes.
And this is very typical for him. this ambivalence in holding and letting go. So you never know really when you observe him. Is he tensed? Is he relaxed? Is he friendly? Is he unfriendly? Is he powerful? Is he not powerful? So you have nothing to really rely on, referring to your observation and awareness. And this is typical for Putin. And I was told by a colleague that Putin, that's very interesting, had been to a workshop of body language in 1991. So 24 years ago, in the old Soviet Union area. When they were opening, the politicians said, well, we cannot look and behave non-verbally as we did in the years before, just like not moving, you know, just being well, unfriendly looking politicians.
Yes.
So they tried to learn body language and non-verbal communication. And I was told by my colleague who did this workshop, he said Putin was the only one who resisted all ways of learning. So he stayed, you could say, he stayed in the way how many politicians in the old area behaved non-verbally, just staring and not moving, or holding, not moving. So in some way, it is some kind of, well, behavior pattern, his personality.
Yes.
But on the other hand, he still is in the habit, I could say, in the habit of behaving as he did in his early political years, in his career.
有欧洲媒体报道称，搜集关于普京的情报也没那么容易，因为普京的通信习惯非常谨慎，他不爱发短信，也没有社交网页，每天获取新闻的渠道主要是俄罗斯情报机构。
So when I refer to him and when I remember, I just try to get some images in my mind again. I also know that he can, or remember that he can look very intensely to you. And very, just like a hunter, you know. The hunter is waiting for the animal to come and he's very quiet, he doesn't move, but he looks and he knows in the right moment, pop, to kill the enemy. I mean,
Yes.
the animal.
I may feel scared.
You may feel scared, yes, of course. But then you see, and this is the ambivalence, you see this smiling Putin. This smiling face, just like an open, friendly, smiling face. So, well, who is Putin? The man you are afraid of, or the smiling man who is inviting you?
Yes.
You don't know.
Which one is real Putin?
Yeah, both.
Both.
Both is a real personality. So I think some very important aspect of his behavior pattern is this ambivalence. And this ambivalence shows, on the one hand, I'm very powerful,
Yes.
I'm tensed, I can hold myself, and I can even resist a whole week of body language training. I don't want to do it, I resist. So he must be very powerful in resisting, for example. Very powerful.
Why
On the
does
other
he
hand,
resist?
resisting
For which
means,
reason?
for example, to learn something in such a workshop. Because this colleague of mine, he told me, he refused everything. So he was just there, because he had to be there,
Okay.
but he did not learn.
I
So
don't want to make a change.
maybe I can relate further later to your question, but
Yes.
to refer to the ambivalence in him. He's very powerful, but on the other hand, he often sits like with open legs, and not many people, especially men, sit as politicians
Yes.
with open legs. On the one hand, this is a sign of or symbol of, well, I don't care, you know, I sit as I want.
Yes.
So it shows how independent he is.
Yes.
And I think he's really independent.
Yes.
He feels really independent.
Труднейшие испытания не только всего за четверть века.
But on the other hand, more unconsciously deeper, on a deeper level, you could say on a very biological or metaphorical level, when you sit with open knees, you are open and vulnerable. Here in the front, in the guts, as you say, so that is the place in the body where somebody can hurt you very easily.
Yes.
So maybe he is also, on the other side, a person who can be hurt very deeply. Even if you don't know if you hurt him, he can be hurt. And might be you can relate this to his childhood experience, because his parents did not show any emotionality. They were very rigid, very structured, and without any emotion, without facial expression, just like machines. So maybe he has, if I imagine to be a child and to have such parents, of course children like to play with their parents or to make them move or to make them laugh or, but he couldn't. So maybe someday he had given up and he had picked up a compensation of power. I will show the world I can do it.
Yes. By himself.
Yes. Even if I couldn't do it with my parents, I can show the world I can do it.
Yes.
And that is very important, to be a politician and to be convinced of this. Unless you are not aware of your vulnerability, you can be hurt, then it can be dangerous for yourself. So you can see this on his body language, the power and the possibility that he might be hurt, even if you, when you hurt him, do not know that you have hurt him.
Yes.
Can happen by chance, and he maybe realizes this at home or 1 week later, and nobody will realize. But
So it's unconscious. You mean it's
very unconscious.
Unconscious.
Very unconscious. And when I use the picture of a hunter, maybe, I don't know, he sometimes can identify with the feeling of an animal which he shoots. Because he knows unconsciously about this vulnerability. Because when he shoots the animal is dead.
Yes.
So maybe this is one very, very basic unconscious fear of him. So this together makes him human. You are afraid of something, I am afraid of something. Well, why should a politician not be afraid of something? He's also a human being.
Yes.
Of course.
They're also afraid of something.
Yeah, sure.
Yes.
So when I refer to communication with him, he needs powerful partners in communication, but also partners who know about the danger that he can be hurt by something. So if Putin feels this respect, this unconscious respect by somebody else, he could open up more. He could open up more in the communication. But when Putin does not feel he's respected by the other one, he's closed. He's completely closed. And he behaves as in the workshop in 1991, with resistance. And we say, you will lose your teeth, you can bite on him and you will lose all your teeth, but you will not get him. You can bite on him, and he's so resisting that you will never get it. You will lose your teeth,
okay.
But you will never open him.
Yeah. He resists.
Pardon?
He resists the training.
Can you put the question in another way, please?
I think we can go to the conclusion.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if Putin doesn't resist, how do you coach him to protect himself consciously?
Well, remembering the effect of the workshop in 1991, I would say he would be friendly to me perhaps when we would meet.
Yes.
We would talk about something. Maybe we would go for fishing.
No.
But I fear he would resist to a coach. But I will not give up too early. But perhaps I would try to relate to this experience in his childhood with his parents, not talking to this, about this, but starting with my feedback on his way of sitting with the open legs. And my impression that if I would be him, I would feel vulnerable. So I offer myself and say something about myself so that he can decide, will I open up a little to this guy from Germany or not?
Okay.
Then I have a chance to reach him.
Yes.
And then to talk about his family.
Yes.
If I don't get this chance that he decides to open or not, then I'm lost, and he will resist completely.
Yes. It's up to him.
Yeah, really.
Yes. Thank you.
Yes, thank you very
Very
much.
much.
Дом мой достроен, но я в нем один. Хлопнула дверь за спиной. Ветер осенний стучится в окно, плачет опять надо мной. Ночью гроза, а на утро туман. Солнце остыло совсем. Давние боли идут чередой. Пусть собираются все.
So, it's an idea I have. I don't want to talk about the danger, but she did it, and afterwards, via internet, many loved her for that, but also there was a big shitstorm on her.
Yes.
Many people who disagreed. She said, well, that's marketing, because
Yes.
it was a cameraman.
Yes.
Okay.